everybody, welcome to our series Farm to Fork. I'm Chef Connie Powers. Today we're taking you to Indian River, Ontario, to Rocky Meadows Lavender Farm. We're going to introduce you to Chris and Kara, who are co-owners and co-operators. They took us on a tour. They showed us how lavender grows. They showed us their wedding venue there. It was a wonderful tour. They also talked to us about how to use lavender in our baking and infused in honey. So today we're going to be making a salad dressing on a beet salad, delicious with a little bit of lavender. And we're going to be making a lavender quick bread. I'm going to show you a couple ways because there are people who say, oh, I don't like lavender in my cooking or in my food because it tastes like soap. That means that there's either too much or it's not being steeped or infused correctly. Let's get started. We're going to start with the salad. Now, I prearranged the salad because that's not the idea of today. So I just put some romaine lettuce, some leaf lettuce on a plate, and beets. Now, beets and lavender is a great combination. You can roast beets and make them fresh, or you can use pickled beets, and that's what I use today. And then I just put a little bit of goat cheese. That's ready. Let's make the salad dressing. So I'm preheating a 8-inch saucepan, and I'm going to add in just a little bit of olive oil, just enough to coat the bottom. We're going to keep that because that's how we're emulsifying our salad dressing. And then I'm going to add some pre-chopped shallots. Now, you can add as many as you want. I've got a whole cup here. I always do them ahead of time because I love to cook with shallots. A whole cup is a bit much. So I'm going to add in about a half a cup. You'll see that it just covers the bottom of that saucepan. Now, as we're waiting for that to saute, we're going to go over and start our quick bread. So what we have to do is steep the milk. Let's start that. In a 3-quart saucepan, you're going to add 1 1/4 cups of milk. You can use whole milk, you can use 2%, you can even add a little bit of cream if you want it richer. You're going to add in about 1/4 cup, 60 grams of butter. And unusually, this is salted butter. There will be no salt added to the recipe. I know when you're baking, you usually see it being unsalted. This is salted. And you're going to add in 2 tablespoons of dried lavender. Here's the star of the show. So if you're using dried lavender, you're going to use 2 tablespoons. If you're using fresh buds that you have picked, then you're going to use 6 tablespoons. We're going to be straining this out. This is just to get it to steep. All right, we're going to put that on a low heat and let that simmer, and then we're going to take that off and cool. It's a good time to do it. I can hear our shallots starting to saute. All right, let's turn our attention back to our salad dressing. So that's starting to saute nice. We will be emulsifying all of this, so you won't have those shallots. To that, we're going to add in about 1/3 cup of honey. Now, if you're using lavender infused honey, you're going to have a more intense flavor. This is just natural honey. Now, Rocky Meadows Lavender does have beehives on their farm, and there's a beekeeper who tends to them, but it's beautiful because the bees get to pollinate the lavender, and it's a good working relationship. All right, the honey is starting to liquefy. To that, we're going to add in about 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. And this is where you're going to add in about 1/2 teaspoon of lavender buds. Again, if it is fresh buds, you're going to use more. You'll see it in the recipe at the end of the episode. So let's put it in. We're going to turn down our heat. The honey is starting to cook You immediately, the sweet lavender is coming from the honey. It's really delicious. Okay, once the honey starts to foam, take it off the heat, and we're going to let it cool. All right, while this is cooling, we go back to our quick bread. These particular recipes do not require you to add lavender to a batter. So with the quick bread, we're going to be straining the lavender buds out. And with the salad dressing, we're going to be emulsifying that. But let's say you're making a recipe, not today, but something else, and you want to just enhance or flavor your sugar. I'm going to show you a technique. So what you can do is you can add in a mortar and pestle, you can add in a bit of sugar, and you can add in a little bit, and these are the lavender buds that we got from Rocky Meadow. You can add in a little bit of those, and then you just grind that together. And what you're going to be left with is a lavender scented, a lavender flavored, enhanced sugar to use in any recipe. We're going to continue on with our quick bread. Right now, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching Farm to Fork. I'm Chef Connie Powers. Today we're going on a trip to Rocky Meadow Lavender in Iron River, Ontario. So we are making a quick bread and we're making a salad dressing made with lavender buds. Delicious things. We just heated a milk, butter, and lavender solution, and we're going to put that through a strainer. Now it's pretty hot, so you can't just use it right away. We're going to strain that. You know, the lavender's nice, but we want the flavor. We don't actually want the texture in our bread. So you can see I've strained that out. I'm going to make sure that I get all I can. And then we'll just discard the buds. They have now had an opportunity to steep on the heat and steep off the heat. So now what I have is milk, butter, and the enhancement of the lavender buds. We're going to set that aside. This has to cool a bit. If you have a cool countertop, just place it on that. That's all you need. You don't want to put it in the fridge because you don't want it to solidify again. So we're going to set that aside to cool. We're going to go over to our salad dressing. Now, as I earlier explained, we did a salad with some lettuce leaves, pickled beets today, and then some goat cheese, a few cherry tomatoes. And now we're going to add our salad dressing. So in here, I have shallots, a little bit of olive oil, shallots, a quarter cup of honey, a half teaspoon of lavender. We're going to put that into our cup so that we can use the hand mixer on it. It's cooled. It's not entirely cooled, but it's okay. There's a little bit of Dijon mustard in there. You could add it now if you forgot to do it in the saucepan. And then we're going to add some champagne vinegar. If you don't have champagne vinegar, you can use white wine vinegar. They'll do the same thing. You're going to add in about 2 tablespoons. That's a lot. Add about 2 tablespoons. You know, you give or take, whatever's your preference. There's no need to add any other sweeteners because remember, we have the honey in there. So we're going to emulsify that. Now, you can use any kind of an oil that is mild. So a safflower is nice. Some oil while you're mixing. Here we have it. We have a nice, delicious salad. The salad dressing is warm. How nice is that? Because this is a little bit of a winter salad. It can be spring as well. I'm going to dress that. We're going to top it up with some nuts of your choice. You could do pecans. That's a really delicious thing. I had some pistachios and I thought that they were already chopped. I'll use those. And then just going to top it. Don't put the pistachios or the pecans beforehand. The salad dressing will cover them. And that's it. There you have it. It is a lavender champagne vinegar salad dressing on a bed of lettuce and some beets. Yummy, yummy. We're going to go back to our quick bread. I'm going to set that all up. Right now, we're going to take you to the Rocky Meadow Lavender Farm to meet Kara and Chris. Take a look at this. Welcome to our series Farm to Fork. Today, we're at Rocky Meadows Lavender Farm on County Road 38 in Indian River, Ontario. We're going to go meet Kara and Chris, co-owners and co-operators of this farm, and see what happens on a lavender farm. This farm was purchased in 2018?
When the farm was
2011.
2011.
And did you start right off with being lavender farm?
No. We had horses and a donkey, and ultimately we ended up deciding that we could grow lavender, or thought we could anyways. And from there we started growing in 2017 and opened our shop in 2018.
So what do we have here? This looks like plants that are they've all been harvested.
Everything's been harvested. It was all harvested the first week of August. We had our field open for the entire month of July. So as soon as July ended, the harvest began, and we basically took off the French lavender, which is over this side. We took all the stalks off, and we've hung those, and they're drying right now in the shed. And the rest of the plants we've used for essential oil.
Okay, and then the ones that are drying, what that will become?
We'll use the buds. So we'll remove the buds from the stalks. And unfortunately, that's all by hand. But
wow.
I will be starting that sometime next week, most likely.
Which one has the most aroma that you could use, has longevity of aroma?
Well, French lavender has a higher percentage of oil in the buds, more camphor in the buds. So it's stronger fragrance as opposed to the English lavenders, which they all have their own fragrance. Some are a little bit more subtle than others. Some are a little bit sweet. Hitcoat tends to have a little bit of a sweet fragrance.
Does any particular plant lend itself better to culinary uses?
English lavender. There's less camphor in it, so it's less of a chance to make it overpowering in a recipe.
Okay.
Because when you're using lavender, you have to follow that recipe to a T. So if it says a teaspoon, it's a flat teaspoon. It's not like chocolate where you can add a little bit more.
I've made that mistake of adding too much, thinking that the more the better, and it just it turns into perfume.
As far as English lavenders go, Melissa is actually the preferred one because it's sweeter.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of chefs use it. And it's a different color. It's white, a white lavender, but it turns pink or light purple as it gets older.
You have another side to this business. It's not just your farm store. You've got a big wedding venue.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at your website, rockymeadowslavender.ca, and I see you've got a whole calendar of events. Right from September, October, November, it just doesn't stop. And you've even got Christmas, it doesn't stop. And you've even got Christmas markets. So I see that you've got some things set up for an outdoor venue. So this would be weddings. Now, I was curious, I saw that you say elopements. That's fun. Is that just so somebody's spontaneity can take them here?
It can be, yeah. All they need is their wedding license and 2 witnesses. And an officiant.
So the guests just sit in amongst all the lavender? And then what happens up here?
Well, the couple to be married, just the officiant's here, they stand here.
Oh, so I get it.
This is all draped.
I get it.
Yeah, and there's a little sway here.
And when is that open for business? So you said June you started, so you'll do June, July, August, September?
if people want to come out in the fall, that's fine too, because it does get colorful out here with the trees too.
When did the blooms come off?
Well, the bloom month is July, so as soon as that's finished, at the end of July, we start taking all the blooms off in August, first week of August. And we take them back to the barn and we hang them upside down to dry. And we take the buds off once they're dried. So we put it in our products.
Is that all made on the farm?
It's all made in the kitchen, yes.
Wow. Now, when you do the weddings, do you provide the flowers as well?
We do everything.
Everything.
All they have to do is bring their witnesses, have their wedding license, and get their officiant. There's 3 packages. There's the elopement, like just the get her done, just get her done. We have that, but we also have the elegance, which is the higher end, so that it's that includes the music, the flowers, the food, the cake or cupcakes if that's what they want. We will provide champagne for toasting, lavender lemonade, and the photographer.
Oh.
Too.
So they bring the officiant and their witnesses.
And their license.
And their guests.
And their guests, of course. Of course, the guests, yes.
2016, tell me about that year.
Well, that was the year that we decided to start growing lavender. We hadn't retired then, and because lavender takes 3 years to mature, we thought we'd start ahead so that we could just sort of slide into the job, our retirement job. And so we bought about 750 new plugs from a lavender farmer in Prince Edward County. And due to our inexperience and the fact that it was extremely hot that summer and there was a drought, there was no rain, we lost the entire crop. So that was a very hard learning experience.
It would be. So 750, give me an idea of how many rows that is.
About 10?
Oh, it's about 10. Okay, so you started with about 10 rows, and now look what you've got.
We have how many rows? About
62.
62 rows.
62
and
rows.
About 5,000 plants.
5,000. So you lost 750,
Yeah.
and now you're up to
5,000,
Five.
maybe a little bit more.
And there's-
nine varieties, 9 different varieties. There's 7 English and 2 French.
how many varieties are there?
There's over 400.
Okay.
Yeah, but they won't all grow here.
Oh,
The lavender that we have here is for our
for zone 5?
5 to 7. Yeah. Although Hitcoat, which is an English variety, is my very favorite. It's deep purple and it smells absolutely divine. Will survive in a 4.
Oh, okay.
Survive. Even the French lavender that we have here. You can use English for aromatherapy. It's just lighter. It's not as, I don't like to use the word pungent, but that's a good word to describe
Okay.
French English.
So English, though, is the one we would use for culinary uses.
Yes, it has less camphor.
I want to thank you both for bringing us onto your farm. It takes a little bit of trust to bring us onto your premises, and I thank you for that. Your store, this little shop is adorable. Now, I know that people can't go out to the field any longer, but people are welcome to shop at the store until when?
We're open till Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh, nice.
However, we did modify our hours for September because it really slows down once the kids get back to school. So we're usually closed on Mondays. For September, we're closed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday from 10 to 4.
That makes sense. And they can find you online?
We are online. We're on Facebook, Instagram. We have our website. I think we're on WhatsApp as well.
We will be posting your website and
Okay.
alongside the video.
But we also attend many shows from October till probably next March. January we don't usually have a show, but
That's your break month? That's when you...
January,
that's what-
February.
Yeah.
Kind of break, but it's not really.
Yeah, we're still making products. We don't have very much time off. Even though the store may be closed, it's busy and behind the scenes. So,
Welcome back. Wasn't that a great tour? It smelled divine. It was a windy day, and it was really nice, as you can see. They were great hosts, and you saw the wedding venue. How beautiful is that? So we're going back to our quick bread, and we have had this cool down. So this is our milk, our butter, and the lavender buds, and they've cooled down. So we have a separate bowl, and in that bowl, I just gotta look just to double check, I have 300 grams of flour, and I have, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of baking powder. And to that, then I'm going to add our sugar. So the sugar, double checking, we have 150 grams or 3/4 cups. We're going to add that. And we're going to set that aside. That was all pre-measured. We're going to set that aside, get back our wet ingredients, and in that we're going to put in the egg. We're going to whisk that together to make sure the egg is incorporated. This is a simple, quick bread, and you know that's what the title says, it's quick. The idea of having some lavender is, that's the delicious thing. The house smells like lavender right now, and I haven't even started baking with it. So we're going to then just simply incorporate that into our dry ingredients. I have a loaf pan ready, just a little bit lightly floured, lightly oiled and floured, not too much. Now you can see that the baking powder, as soon as I added the milk, it started to respond. That's what we want. All right, that's just mixed, not overmixed, just mixed. And we're going to add that into our loaf pan. All right, that's all of our batter. We're going to pop this into the oven at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes until a toothpick in the middle tests clear. The cake is out of the oven. We're just going to let it sit for a minute before we put it onto the plate, then I'm going to show you how to put a little glaze on it. I did want to talk about culinary lavender. You may wonder, well, what's the difference? Edible lavender, culinary lavender, or decorative lavender. It's all the same plant. English lavender does lend itself nicely to culinary lavender for its sweetness. However, the difference is culinary lavender will not be sprayed. So if you have it in your yard, in your garden, and you'd like to harvest it and use it, dry it first, you can do that, or you can use it fresh as long as it hasn't been sprayed. We're going to now take the cake out of the oven. It took about 42 minutes. I think I earlier said 30, but you're better off to use a cake tester and make sure that it's really cooked through. We're going to put it on the plate because you'd like to glaze this quick bread a little bit while it's warm. So there you have the cake. It's really warm. All I've done is I've mixed a little bit of powdered sugar and some water. That's it. You could use some milk if you like. I just decided to do a simple glaze. The cake is warm, and I'm going to let it drizzle on top. While the cake is warm, it's going to just allow it to seep in, run down the sides, very appetizing. And that's it. So today we made a lavender quick bread. You could even add some blueberries. You could add some dried fruit into that. And we made a lavender vinaigrette with some beets and some goat cheese. A really nice Sunday brunch edition. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'd like to thank Cara and Chris from Rocky Meadows Lavender for taking us on the tour. Until next time, keep cooking.